Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, coming to you here with another most excellent podcast. And thanks for tuning in. We certainly appreciate you guys as an audience. You guys are the best audience out there. I'm not kidding. I'm not even lying. You guys are the best audience. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Anyway, be sure to refer the show. As always, we certainly appreciate you guys referring the show. We see the numbers grow and grow and grow on the downloads. So we certainly appreciate whoever's out there doing it, whether it's just one of you or all of you. So there you go. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss, hit that bell notification button. Go to Google Play, iTunes, and guess what? We are now on Spotify. So you can download the thing there on Spotify when you're listening to all your gospel music, and then you want to listen to some Chris Voss Show, and then you're angry after that, you listen to Metallica. You've got that right all on Spotify. So, wow, that's really nice that they made that happen for us. Anyway, we've got a wonderful show here, and as always, the best guest in the Chris Voss Show. We've got Roberto from Advantech. And this is an interesting company and some interesting things and some builds and behind the scenes of what you use for technology. Edward, thanks and welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful to have you. So give us a plug for Advantech so we can check it on the interwebs and research more about it as we go along.
Yeah, certainly enough. You can go directly to our website at www.advantech.com. That's ADVANTECH.com.
So now you're the vertical sales manager for Advantech, and that's pretty cool. You're running the vertical side of the company, if you will. And I know you guys have a ton of products, so that's probably where that title comes in, is vertical. And tell us about Advantech. What are they about? How long have they been around? What's their game?
Yeah, certainly. So Advantech is known as an OEM, embedded computing or embedded technology manufacturing company. Been around for about 35 years. We were founded in the early 80s, 1983 to be exact, by an individual by the name of Casey Liu. Casey Liu is still our active CEO, which is kind of rare in the corporate space. But globally, we're known as an embedded computing company. There's probably over 1,500 devices or components that we're manufacturing now, and we've kind of spread from a component manufacturer to now providing solutions, end-to-end solutions for a lot of industries. Vertical sales manager, meaning we focus on, in addition to all the different industries, focus on specific verticals, retail being one of them. Healthcare is another vertical. Logistics and transportation is one as well.
So you guys are the original equipment manufacturers, sort of providers for stuff. So we're not going to see a lot of your guys' products on the front end, but you guys are going to be in the makeup of the construction of whatever build we have. And you guys cover everything from IoT products, from, like you said, medical. I mean, just about every gambit where somebody needs your guys' products that you put into them.
Correct. Yeah. So traditionally, I mean, our products are typically at the core of some of these, large scale industrial smart systems. Over the years, I mean, through R&D and a lot of development and working on different, projects and opportunities with different companies, we do now have kind of a portfolio of products that are a little more customer facing. So, on the retail side, which is my domain, we do have a portfolio of products that, everything from, your visual products, your digital signage, kind of front of the house, advertising, menu boards. We have some interactive products. So now we're moving into like interactive displays, touch technology, which we manufacture as well. We have a kiosk product offering, which is kind of now being adopted or into a lot of QSR space. So, self-service kiosk products are kind of catching on, being utilized in multiple environments, and then we also do point of sale devices. So we kind of round out, at least from a retail perspective, kind of the whole gamut of solutions.
Well, you guys certainly do a lot, and I'm sure you sell your products around the world.
Yeah, certainly. We're a global organization. We're, physically operating in over 23 countries, 90 cities worldwide. More about the company. We're about 8,000 employees strong. We had a future retail event in our Milpitas showroom. So we have a full logistics center integration facility in Milpitas or San Jose, California. And we have a state-of-the-art showroom there.
Wow. And so you guys travel. We were talking earlier in the pre-show about how you guys do different events like NAB, other different shows that market towards what you guys are going for. And you got some upcoming shows that are going on as well.
Yeah, certainly. Since we do everything from industrial PCs, thousands of IoT components, industrial displays. We're just at the Global Gaming Show in Vegas. From a retail perspective, we have the National Retail Federation is a show that we're doing. It's coming up as well. It's in January, the Javits Center in New York. It's the world's largest retail trade show. So we'll be there as well. With regards to trade shows, you'll have, we'll have a booth there kind of displaying, a lot of our technology. And then, it gives kind of customers and retailers a firsthand look on how our technology is actually applied in, specific solutions.
That's got to be pretty cool. I mean, you guys have so many different products and so many different areas that you're involved in, and then it sounds like you're in the back end of a lot of different stuff. So what would you say is your largest sort of area that you're into in terms of like an area like IoT or what's your largest grouping?
Interestingly enough, if you just take like industrial PCs, for example, I mean, we kind of lead that space. 32% of all industrial PCs shipped worldwide are Advantech PCs.
Wow.
So we're typically at the core of a lot of these solutions, and our product offering and our solution offering just kind of stacks up from there.
Yeah. So what goes into an industrial PC? How is that different than a consumer PC?
When we classify something as industrial, I mean, the claim to fame for Advantech and for a lot of our products is, it's based around the quality. We're manufacturing components and devices which, industrial operators can use, and a lot of it's based around the life expectancy. I mean, we're designing and engineering products that you could expect to use from 7 to 10 years, as opposed to your commercial or your consumer grade products. As opposed to your consumer grade products, which they're cycling those out possibly every 2 to 3 years. So we're building for longevity.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, most of my consumer products are built for however long it takes me to get sick of them and throw them against the wall. And then I have to get a new one. It's kind of like the situation with most of my phones these days. And so you guys are in IoT. We talked about Internet of Things. So you guys have some platforms in there. I think you mentioned you guys have some stuff in the AR, VR sort of area.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, on the retail side, I mean, there's a lot of ways that retailers are using technology to engage with customers, right? It's all about customer experience. We talked earlier. I mean, augmented reality is actually something that a lot of digital signage companies or even retailers in general are using. You could utilize your phone, but it's geared towards mobile devices. I mean, there's been some games out there that use augmented reality, but good examples like a furniture store. They're utilizing augmented reality where you have a tablet and you could kind of walk around and manipulate the furniture itself to kind of set up a virtual layout. So yeah, all these different applications are coming out. I mean, on the digital signage side, content is just getting a lot more rich and intensive. So the way we complement that as a hardware provider is to design products that have that compute power to support that.
Nice. So you guys are a lot of the back end, and you guys make the world go around, basically, because if it wasn't for you guys supporting the back end, there'd be no front end.
Yeah, so we like to see it. I mean, we're kind of I mentioned embedded computing, embedded technology. It's I guess I can come up with the tag phrase that we're embedded in everything, and then just kind of building up from there. So, we are, especially on the retail side, designing and developing products that are starting to come more towards the front of the house, the point of sale systems and the kiosk products. But yeah, it's nowadays you have to be a solutions provider. Customers come to you looking for certain devices, certain components, but it's always part of a bigger project, right? So we want to be able to offer our customers an end-to-end solution, and we have a lot of good partners that we collaborate with for certain projects, to get customers what they need, get businesses what they're looking for.
So you can custom make stuff. I mean, if a company comes to you and says, hey, we want to build this, we need specific parts to it, you guys can custom build it, and of course you contract, I'm sure, with it, and you make them make their assembly lines run.
100%. As a matter of fact, one of the advantages of what we do being an OEM manufacturer is that we own our own manufacturing facility. Although there are some, standardized products that we have, a good segment of what we do is original design manufacturing.
So if somebody wants to build something, maybe a Kickstarter device, Indiegogo, I've known a lot of people that have built those sort of products, and sometimes very highly technical for some of the components that go into them. You might be somebody they approach and say, hey, let's build this. And I'm sure you're working with large scale manufacturers, of course, too, brand names, Fortune 100, 500 sort of stuff. Well, it sounds pretty awesome. You guys have been around for a long time. You have the same CEO for 35 years. That's pretty darn awesome. Being around for that long and running a company seems to be, everything just changes so much these days, and it's so transitional. It's rare that I meet somebody who's been running the same company for so many years that they created. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely provided a lot of advantages from a business standpoint, and certainly for our customer base as well. Over 35 years, we've had that stable leadership, that singular direction. We have a big customer base, and keep in mind, the company was built from the ground up, right? Wow. Obviously, the CEO of the company these days is kind of focused more on growing the company through like acquisitions and kind of expanding. But yeah, we it's organic growth. We're a $1.2 billion company with a global footprint.
It's pretty cool that you guys do so many different products well. Like a lot of companies, like even Apple, they can only do just a very select group of products very well and be successful at it. And a lot of companies, if they get like you guys are, where there's just too much spread out of different products, they start fumbling the ball and stuff. So it's really kind of amazing that you guys are able to really work it well and be able to master everything at once, if you will.
Yeah, it's kind of a necessity these days. I mean, everybody talks about IoT. Traditionally, you have these, standalone components and devices, and now that everything is being connected to the internet, it makes it easier to, manage and scale these systems. But now you have, individual devices talking to each other, which creates an intelligent system now. So it's just kind of the nature of the business that we're in. As a matter of fact, we have an upcoming IoT summit in Suzhou, China.
Mm-hmm.
It's a large scale summit for us. It's what we call a co-creation summit.
Oh.
So now, kind of talking about those partnerships, there's a ton of other companies out there, some that are specific to, they're independent software vendors, maybe they're, some type of domain focus system integrator.
Mm-hmm.
To actually put out kind of the next generation of solutions, what you're looking at, over the next maybe 20, 30 years, there really needs to be some type of collaboration, right? We build a specific type of device, or we build components. You have a software company that brings in, maybe a specific type of user interface. So it's collaborating with other companies as well to build these solutions, and that's going to be kind of the future of our business.
So you see a lot of expansion in the IoT market then?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, every single device, everything that's being built now in one way or another is going to be connected, right?
Yeah, I'm just amazed. Recently Amazon, my house is set up. I've got, I don't want to say the word, but let's just say the search engine home, because as soon as I say it, I'll activate it. Or I also have the Amazon home. Every time I'm on a podcast and I say the name of the G home word or the A word, not that A word, but the that word. I activate it and then it comes on the podcast, and I'm sure it probably sets everyone else who's listening to the podcast phones off. But my whole house, and it's partially because I review a lot of IoT products for companies, probably that you put your products in. And all my light switches are all hooked up. And literally, I start my day waking up in the morning. I tell the devices to turn on my lights. I tell them to turn off my bed warmer. I've got an 8. The manufacturer 8 has a bed for me, and it warms. And so I tell it to turn that off so it does keep running. And then I tell it to turn on my coffee maker. And so I sleep on the second floor where my master bedroom is. And then usually by the time as I hit the bathroom and wander downstairs, the coffee maker's all warmed up. I just have to press the button to tell it to make me the coffee. And as I go downstairs, I tell it to turn on my kitchen lights, and away I go. And then I come back upstairs to my office here and tell it to turn off the lights. And literally, I can go through almost a whole day without touching a light switch. I think my bathroom is the only thing I haven't hooked up to the thing, because it's got kind of a weird lighting system where there's a long row of lights, and I haven't really figured out how to. Well, I couldn't put IoT in there. I've just got to take the switch out and put it in. But the switches that I have, we reviewed, they're fairly expensive, so I got to figure out something to do with that in the future. But I'm sure it'll come. But I can literally walk through my day, even when I'm gaming, when I'm sitting in front of my PS4, I'll turn off the office lights so that I can see the screen better. And my friends on gaming will hear me say, "Hey, so and so home, turn off all my lights, or turn on my lights if I'm getting up to go get a drink or something." And so it's just amazing the world we live in. And of course, you and I are probably seeing the same things in the futuristic side of things, where we have refrigerators that are talking to us. Amazon just released these products that have Alexa built into them, not necessarily. Oh crap! I just said her name, but not necessarily the speaker part of her in the devices like microwaves and some of these appliances that people use every day. But they have it hooked up where you can talk to her through your devices and then tell them to run like the microwave and say, cook me some popcorn. And virtually she'll do it. About the only thing you have to do is put your cook in the thing. I remember I was talking about this on a show I did yesterday. I saw Whirlpool at CES had come out with an oven that works with actually the Yumly app, which they also bought. and you can look at the Yumly app, press what you want to take and cook on the Yumly app, and it will work with the oven and cook it all for you the way it's supposed to be cooked. And you don't have to sit there and go, now what's the 35 minutes you got to cook at what temperature? It's pretty an amazing world that we're going to live in. And I got to tell you, the verbal, being able to walk through my world and verbally control it is pretty jet. What was it? George Jetsonish, if you will.
Yeah. The Jetsons.
Yeah. I mean, if only I could get, the only thing I need to do is cut out the part where I have to pick up the stuff from the refrigerator and put it in the oven, before I tell it to cook. If we could get that part done.
You need that conveyor belt running through your house, right?
Running belt or the robot servant that runs around. And the ideal thing would be I get up in the morning and this little robot comes up and goes, Chris, here's your coffee. And I'd be like, my coffee. And I don't know if that's going to contribute to us being more sedentary as a society, but I don't know, maybe I'll save some time where I can have some time to exercise in there as well.
Well, I guess the idea, I mean, this, not to get off topic, but it's utilizing this technology, right? It has to be purpose-built technology. Going back to the retail side, I mean, companies aren't just going to implement technology just for the sake of doing it, right? There has to be something behind it, reason for doing it. Either it enhances the customer experience, maybe it, helps the retailer become more efficient in a process, little things like that. But, it's interesting you mentioned, all the different devices in your house, everything being connected now. So, as a manufacturer, we kind of realize that, right? You have all these endpoints that are now interconnected with each other. So, the way we take it a step further is, and it's all kind of situated with this IoT summit, is that, we have looked towards the software side of things. So, now Advantech has what we call WisePass, or we have a software platform that is essentially utilized to interconnect all of these devices.
Oh.
And part of this IoT summit is, how can other companies utilize our software platform, which is, already connected to the devices that we manufacture, to, kind of, encapsulate other solutions.
Yeah. And multifaceted, there's probably a word for it, multifaceted, or there's probably some corporate buzzword, industrial buzzword for getting all those devices to talk to each other or having that platform.
Yeah, intelligent systems. That's once they're connected. Yeah, once they're all interconnected with each other, they become intelligent. And then, what you're doing now, looking over your shoulder and mentioning that name that you mentioned, once these intelligent systems start to become independent, now we're looking at artificial intelligence, which I will even touch that. So I'll leave it now.
Artificial intelligence. I can hear the Skynet Terminator music playing every time I bring up that sort of topic. Dun, dun, dun. And yeah, it's artificial intelligence definitely is something that's a topic of interest. When you're dealing with the IoT area, and your integrated intelligent systems, is security a thing that you guys get into, or is that usually something you leave to the other software makers to develop with your guys' hardware?
No, so security is certainly a thing. I mean, considering that, we manufacture, solutions for so many different industries. I mean, I'm specific to retail, but, there's, industrial automation, manufacturing, transportation. Once we start getting into, the financial industry, obviously security is of high importance there. But even, an example that comes to mind. So when we're looking at retail, right, retailers are utilizing devices now to capture analytics on their consumers, right? We want to know who our customer is, who's coming into the store. We create additional endpoints for customers to interact with. We're utilizing loyalty programs, so we're capturing customer information. Even on the payment side, obviously there's a lot of security around payment, but we manufacture gateway devices as well. So, there's a heavy level of security that's applied there. But, consumers are concerned with, identity theft. They're concerned with their own private information. So, there is a security always comes into place, with everything.
Yeah, with the IoT, there has been a lot of chatter and talk about security with IoT. It used to be there was only one endpoint you could get into my house if you wanted to break into my internet and maybe get access to files or identity or whatever the case was, or you just want to watch me on webcam, and you're the FBI, that's your thing. I feel sorry for anybody who would have to do that. But you've got security is a huge thing where people, I don't want my light switch or my lamp giving people access to all the things they need to take and do and everything else.
Yeah, and there's definitely, I think we mentioned earlier, pre-show. We are, partnered with companies like Microsoft and Intel, and Intel has a ton of information with regard to kind of utilizing their chipset and the technology that they have in place to secure these endpoints and secure these devices.
That's awesome. It's the future of what's coming down and where all these products can talk to each other. There's definitely an easy way for someone to find. And as we're seeing with some of the foreign countries like China and everything else, they're trying to break into our industrial products any which way they can, whether it's from nuclear facilities to, even the Chris Voss Show. I'm assailed daily, sometimes thousands of times, by people in China, Poland, Russia is a big favorite. You name any one of these sort of interesting company or countries, let's put it that way. They're trying to hack my website and pop it. They're trying to get in everything that they can, steal, I suppose, whatever secrets they can. And I'm sure you deal with that in industrial where people need that security and protection so that they're not exposed and their secrets aren't exposed and how they do things, or, someone might try and take control or disable those systems.
Yeah, definitely. There's probably multiple approaches, but you can certainly secure devices through a software application. Going back to one of the great value propositions that Advantech has is that we manufacture our own devices. We manufacture them in our own facility, so we actually own the manufacturing plant. So from our perspective, in terms of tampering and securing the devices, we have control of those products from raw material to finished product. So we can document that manufacturing process. We have the the QA QC control. We're not outsourcing the manufacturing of our boards and upwards. So those are some of the approaches that we take with securing that product.
That's awesome. So what do you guys see in the future? What are some fields that you guys see in the future that are going to be really technologically advancing and becoming the next big thing, if you will?
There's going to be a ton of stuff. Since we do so many devices for so many different industries, things are kind of, technology is being used everywhere, right? IoT is obviously, like we mentioned, the buzzword and kind of the future of that, interconnecting all of these devices. I could tell you from my standpoint, I'm more more of a domain specific towards retail.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to come back to, especially in the retail space, everything's going to come back to, the most important person in retail, which is the customer.
Yeah.
Right. What retailers are doing now is that they're trying to create this customer experience. At the future retail event that we actually had in Milpitas, one of the sessions was about redefining the customer experience. There's a lot of competition out there. Your traditional brick and mortar retailers are now competing with your e-tailers or your online online retailers. And then in addition to that, I mean, we're in a unique scenario where we have at least 4, maybe 5 generations of consumers now.
Yeah.
So how do we cater our products and our services? How do we define this customer experience for that specific consumer? So what I see on the customer experience side is kind of utilizing technology to personalize that experience for customers. Everybody has their mobile device now, right? This is what we're all familiar with. Right now, this is my customer experience. It's a personalized customer experience. So when I go in a store, I'm looking for that same type of experience. I want the in-store experience to be personalized. So you're going to see, we have a company, a software company, a partner that utilizes a digital signage product that has augmented reality. So you can stand in front of it and it actually, shows you a virtual scarf around your neck, right? Or a virtual handbag. So a lot of the next generation technology is going to be around enhancing that customer experience.
What I need an AR device that everyone else has, so that when I walk around, I'm wearing Louis Vuitton and Versace and I look really fashionable in everybody else's mind that sees me. Like when they see me, they're like, wow, that guy buys expensive clothes and dresses really nicely. In the meantime, I'm wearing the rags that I usually wear. And I'm just walking around, but everyone's fooled by the AR version. I need like a AR projection hologram clothes wear sort of device.
Yeah, just a little dome around yourself.
I also need one that makes me about 50 pounds slimmer, makes my face like a little tighter. Kind of like those apps the girls are using on Instagram now where they can make everything, all the wrinkles go away and on their face and stuff. Right. And not that they need it, but evidently people are using it. Well, that's what I need, but I don't need it for me when I hold up my phone. I need it for everyone else, to hologram projection device that puts Versace on me or something. I don't know, Louis Vuitton, or I don't know. You can tell I don't have any clue what I'm talking about when it comes to those clothes.
We're getting one step closer into that space.
Leave. We've seen how you dress. We want nothing to do with you. They're just like, yeah, you're the biggest fashion car wreck we've ever seen. You bring up a good point that's interesting that I never really thought about. With people living longer, you're right. We do have the largest range database of consumers, going from people that are born, and now we have one of the oldest groups of living humans as a large group of people that are living longer and experiencing longer lives. And definitely there are people that are still consuming products, and that's really, I never really thought about that, but like I think you said, what, 6 generations or something?
Yeah, I think we're from traditionalists to now Gen Z.
Yeah.
Generation Z. I don't know if it's officially defined as Generation Z, but I think it is.
Yes.
And your millennials, your baby boomers, your Gen X, all in between.
Yeah. All the way from Gen Z people who are like, I don't have time to type in Google. Can you type it in for me? Which I get a lot from the Gen Z folks. You're just like, you're the Google generation. Just learn to search it, buddy. I don't know why this is your thing. It's like my parents do that for me. And then you have, people like my mom, who's wonderful, but she calls me and I can't hook up the Bluetooth. I'm like, All right, here's how we do this. So making products that can span that or target that, I suppose, is an important aspect to retailers out there.
Yeah, certainly. And, depending on, what stat you look at, I mean, you could break down each generation by disposable income and buying power. And, oddly enough, even the youngest generation, Gen Z, there is a significant amount of buying power that they have out there. So, as a retailer, you certainly want to make sure that your customer experience or is kind of geared towards that demographic.
Mm-hmm. And so you probably work with retailers to help them target that market and get their products to market so they can really achieve results with those different bases.
We do, yeah. What's interestingly enough is that we have, you could even take your digital signage product, right? Now we're, connecting devices to a standard, LCD display, 3D cameras, sensors. Now we're able to, the idea is to capture analytics on, people that are in your store, your customers. We're tracking foot traffic in the store. So when a retailer pushes out a marketing campaign, what does that mean to attracting people into the store? We're able to do heat mapping within the store. So, what part of the store is actually what part of the store are customers gravitating to? Is it the visual retail display that we have over here? Is it the seasonal products that are over here? So a lot of it is capturing analytics and utilizing sensors and devices to do that.
That's pretty darn amazing. So give us your plugs again. Let's talk about the website, where it is, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, definitely. So you can go directly to our website, Advantech.com. It's a well-built website. We have it, broken up from different industries, different verticals. So, if you're looking for, products geared towards the retail environment, you can look at our product portfolio there. If you're, in industrial automation, you can look at our products there. We do a lot in the gaming space. So we have a microsite on there. There's a lot of information on, products and services that we provide for the gaming industry, so on and so forth. So, yep, Advantech.com. Start there.
Where's the next show they can see you at?
You could reach out to me, shoot me an email, edward.roberto@advantech.com. You could find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, sounds good. Well, thanks for being on the show, Edward. We certainly appreciate you, and an amazing discussion on what's happening in the future and what's coming in these products and stuff. And it's good to know there's a good, competent company behind some of these products that we see out there in the market. There you go. Thanks to my audience for tuning in. We certainly appreciate you guys being here. Be sure to refer the show to your friends, neighbors, relatives, dogs, cats, cousins. Tell everybody about the show. We certainly appreciate it. They go to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and you can subscribe there, just about any podcast app as well. You can go to youtube.com/Chris Voss and hit that bell notification so you get all the notifications of all the cool stuff we do on the YouTube channel as well. Anyway, thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.